Well, hi everyone and welcome to my first Project Life Process video. I have to say I'm really nervous about this. All eyes on what I'm doing, and it was actually really hard to scrap this layout. Just feeling like everyone was watching me and I was making mistakes and I couldn't get things to work, but I'm going to give it a go. Anyway, I thought I'd start off with how I plan out my pages and select my photos and how I begin my Project Life process. First thing I do is lay down to design a page protectors. In this case, I've drawn it up on 12 by 12 white cardstock, so it's easy to see. I designed this little insert that goes into my Kiki K diary that looks just like a Design A insert, but a smaller version. Punched a few holes down the side, folded it in half, and it went straight in my diary. I keep all my little notes in there and pictures that I've taken through the week. Makes it really easy when I sit down and print out my photos. And it helps me to keep up to date with what's going on. I've got a terrible memory. I forget everything. Next thing that I do is I sit down and print out my photos. I print all my photos at home. I've got a Canon Pixma. I find it's the best quality. I love it. I love the ease of it. What I do here is if I took my photo on a Monday, it goes in the Monday pocket. Tuesday pocket. I don't shuffle photos around to make them balance. I don't mix them up. To me, it's happened on Monday. That's where it sits. I like my project life to flow from a Monday to a Sunday. What you'll see here is I like to place my cards and my photos side by side. I don't put two photos above each other or beside each other. I just like to spread it out so that it balances and it's not too heavy on one side or heavy on the other side. The next part of my process is I sit down and I go through my cards. Now, I've just like everybody else, I've got a ton of cards. All my cards are sorted by colour, unless they fall into a theme, into a category, such as boys, home, food. They're separate from my colours. If I'm specifically doing something that's about home, I tend to go straight to my home theme. If it's something that is pretty general, I'll go to the colour section. I try to pick out a colour that's in the photo and then I select a card that will complement that photo. I don't pull out all my stash and go through all my cards. If I'm going to select a red card, I just pull out a handful. Majority of the time, that handful of red cards, one of them will suit. I hate shuffling through heaps and heaps of cards. It gives me too many choices and it actually confuses me because then I go back and forth and I just waste so much time, which I don't have. So I try to make cards work. I look at cards as the base of the little project that I'm working on, and my embellishments are what finishes off the card and makes it unique, makes it go with the story. Here what I'm doing is I go through my embellishments. This is a really long process for me. It's probably the longest part I take. I try to find the perfect embellishment. I look at each little pocket and each little photo as whole scrapbooking, like a scrapbooking page of 12 by 12. Each little one has its own story. Each little one is separate. I find it really hard to make things blend on the whole layout for the whole week because I tend to go for the photo and pick out little bits that will complement the story. I might be doing something brown that's about a dog and then the next minute I'm doing some bright colour. It doesn't bother me that my whole layout doesn't match and it doesn't all coordinate or the same range. So long as my photo and my journaling and my embellishments all go together, that's what works for me. So as you can imagine, I spend a lot of time going through my embellishments. I feel like I know them personally. They're like my little babies. I'll pick them out. I usually put them to the side or straight on the photo. And then I get to work and I start with my first card. This is a really good example of how I pick out things that go with that story. Here, this story is actually about me hearing Boston screaming from down the hallway, "Mum, I'm stuck," in the doggy door. I really wanted to get the little speech bubble, to say that "Mama, I'm stuck." And as you'll see towards the end of doing this card, I actually put a paw print on there. To me, it just sort of summed it up. Now, you'll notice as we go through the other cards, it doesn't match with that card, and I'm so okay with it. I just want the story and the card that I'm doing to match and coordinate. And those little stars, they did not want to stick. So anyway, that's my first card. And you can see here how I've tried to bring the colours from his pyjamas into the colour theme that I'm working on. This next one was about fruit, making fruit kebabs. Anyway, it was just a plain card, but I went for the colours. And here you can see I start to layer a little bit and start to try and embellish. Now what I do is I try to lay them down first, because I actually put all my journal cards, I use repositional tape, I put it on an A4 piece of paper, and then I feed it through my typewriter. That's how I get my journaling. When it comes out, then I'll add little bits and pieces just to make it all balance. Like over here, just another sticker and some words just to finish it off. Something I'm trying to do more of, though, is to start stamping. So here I just stamped the word yummy. I'm trying to get used to it. I haven't stamped in years. So that's my next card. Okay, this is a complete flop. I started getting right into this card and then realised after I taped it, videoed it, that it was completely out of focus. Yep, just something new that I've learnt. This whole video processing has been a real experience, let me tell you, even the hooking up. But again, I'm really sorry, but here's the finished card. I have learnt to make sure it's focused, do a test before I start sticking things down and finishing things off. This next card is just about my neighbour coming to my rescue after the oven door handle fell on my foot, and just showing you there how I layered just a couple little things on the picture just to tie in with the colours that I've used on the journaling card. This is a really simple card. There's not a lot to it. I just wanted to bring all the colours in. I kept it really basic and really simple. The dreaded leaking toilet. Now, what I did with this one is just to show you a little bit more of a laying technique, and I've slowed it down so you can see how I do it. I tend to stick things like as I'm holding them and layer that way before I actually stick it down on the photo. Then what I do is I draw an outline so that when I run it through my typewriter, I go around the little border, I rub it out, stick my stickers on, and see how you can't see, but I'm sort of going around the embellishment. Little tip there. This next one is just about Boston and I going out for ice cream. He was such a good boy while I ran errands. Here what I've done is I've just layered that little saying over the top of a little black heart just to bring in the colours and tie it all in. Here I'm actually putting a little embellishment cluster to the corner just to balance that little heart and the "He owns my heart" down on the left hand corner. I don't actually own a lot of enamel dots. I've been bringing back the bling, the good old Kaiser pearl blings. I'm trying to use them more now because I have an unbelievable amount in my stash. And I can't really tell the difference. Okay, they're a little bit fatter, but they work. Here you'll see I'll change my mind. And I just wanted to add one more little tag on just to finish off the card. I'm renowned for moving things around. I never quite stick anything down unless I'm 100% happy with it. Just ask Lee. She's always screaming at me because I don't stick things down properly. My bad. This next card, I've actually done a fair bit of layering on this, and just to show you how I do it, I just lay it down in sections and pop in little embellishments to a little cluster. I tend to do that a lot. I've realised just watching back through these videos, I tend to do little clusters in little corners. I need to work away from that a little bit too. I love doing that as well, which putting half a circle on and cutting it out. Look, I'm writing. I'm trying to use my handwriting as well. Yes, it's only the date, but at least I'm trying. So, and this is how I don't stick things down properly. I shuffle them around a little bit, then I make sure they're stuck. And then when in doubt, put on a wood veneer. That's my motto. Just to finish off the page, you can hear I just put a couple of little stars and an arrow. That's another one done. I hope I'm not boring you. I feel like I'm just talking to myself, listening to Boston Snore as well, actually, while I'm doing this. Here again, another little cluster. My little technique of drawing around the embellishment before I stick it down makes it really easy to type. Here's one that I've also done some layering where I've put a card behind my photo and put a few embellishments down and then layered stickers. I tend to do that a lot, as you've probably noticed. This next card was a little adventure Boston and I went on in search of the perfect playground in our area. I love these little cards, but they just needed that little bit extra, so I just added a little washi, couple little stars, and just dressed up the photos with little clusters. Yep, little clusters again. I'm a little bit addicted to stars as well. So here you just see I've journaled. I don't know about anybody else, but I actually struggle with my title card. I always leave it to last. I find it really hard to get everything in that I want to put on one little 6x4 card. I don't know why. I jam pack it. And why I can't just leave it alone and put week 44. But no, I have to put a million things on and do all this layering. I don't get it. I don't know why I do it. I struggle with this card every single week when I should just leave it alone and keep it simple. Just can't do. But this is the last card to finish off my week. So that's it. My process video is finished. I've had to chop it down to 15 minutes, but I wanted to say thank you everybody for your support in helping me do this, especially to Janie for the Gorilla tripod arm, to Lee for helping me set up. Bye, junkies.